Nestled in the heart of the Rocky Mountains is an adventure park at 7,000 feet above sea level. Thrilling rides, spectacular caverns, and world-class views make Glenwood Springs one of the most interesting mountain towns. Let's talk about the park itself. This is a unique park, isn't it? Tell us why.
We became the first theme park on the top of a mountain, and we've had a lot of firsts since then.
You had the Alpine slide.
Our Alpine Coaster was the first one in North America. We are the only theme park in the world where you also can take a cave tour as well. We're the only theme park on the top of a mountain. We just became the first theme park in the world to take a drop tower and put it entirely underground. You drop 110 feet in 2 seconds into a total black abyss. And it is frightening and thrilling and wonderful all at the same time.
If you go on this ride, you need to hold on to something or someone. Just trust me on that.
You know, people that aren't real big on heights, that is super scary. Like words I can't use on television. Scary.
When you first come in, you can see you have like a music area, music venue area. So what do you do there? And then you also give back to the community.
Well, we have a series called Music on the Mountain that Steve and Jeannie started as just another way to be connected to the community, in which a can of food for our local food bank, Lift Up, gets you a free ride on the tram up to see the live music. And it's now just exploded and it's turned into a huge event on Saturday nights. And every summer we raise about 10,000 cans of food for the local food bank. And that's just one way. The park contributes to a lot of organizations and charities for live auctions and so forth, and groups up here, because Steve and Jeannie's kids go to school with my children, and they're part of this community and really want to show it and help out in any way they can.
Well, you can definitely tell walking through here, it's extremely family friendly, and you can tell the love that everyone has just being here.
Everybody, right, all the employees here, we all like what we do.
After some of the most thrilling rides of my life, we head down the tram for something more my speed.
One thing that sets us apart is we've got this beautiful view behind us. You know, we're right on the banks of the Colorado River. And something that sets us apart from other hot springs, we've got 16 different mineral pools here. Each of the 16 pools ranges in temperature from 98 to 108 degrees. Okay. So our guests that are coming here can find a temperature that works for them. You know, like the hot water isn't always great for some people, so we've got some of those cooler temperatures as well. We also kind of separate our property naturally with our mineral pools being our adult quiet zone. So it's zen.
Okay, I have to pause this for a second for a little bit of a disclaimer. Yeah, my internet wants to be an asshole per usual, so I'm just gonna throw that out there, that if it fucks up and I disappear, that I will be back.
And we've got soft music playing in the background. And then in the far back over there, we've got our family pool, where kids and families of all ages can romp and frolic and have a good time. It comes straight up from the earth, and it's untreated by us, with the exception of a filtration system that we just installed that pulls out a few particulates, but doesn't reduce any of the mineral content in the water. There's a continuous flow of water to each of these pools. So every 2 hours, the whole body of water is replaced with fresh water. And by doing that, it allows us to not use chlorine to treat the water. So you get the all natural effects of the mineral water.
Okay, so you are open during the winter time as well, right? And the heat from the water actually helps you guys out during those times.
It does. We actually recapture some of that heat before we send it to the river, and we use it to heat all of our walkways. So all of our sidewalks, all of our floors throughout the buildings are all heated by that water, which it makes it a little easier for pool hopping in the winter months when it's 30 degrees outside.
So you were saying a lot of people sometimes have the request that they just want to cool off, right? I mean, they get out of the warm water or hot water and they want to cool off a bit. What do you have for them for that?
So our answer to a cold plunge is actually our new rejuvenation station. So it's an outdoor shower. It's 4 outdoor shower heads connected to cold water. Guests can hop out of the pool.
Okay, hold on a second. All right, bear with me here. Low budget production. And I can't find my mouse, so I'm having to use the freaking little pad on the laptop. Anyways, Shauna, I I wouldn't say field trip, but this is just the first one. I'm gonna do a couple of these lives about stuff that has happened, people who have died or been injured, but yeah, in amusement parks. So this is the one I'm gonna do today, and it's gonna be a lot of me playing a bunch of clips, blah 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 blah. So, but the one I'm talking about obviously is the ride that they have at this park called the Haunted Mine Drop. And I'm going to show just a couple of pictures real quick of this ride. Okay. So it's a free fall, quote unquote. My dumbass does not have how far it is. It's a big drop. I can't remember how many feet, but we'll figure that out in a minute, right? So one of the differences in this kind of a ride, if anyone's ever been on a free fall type of a ride like this, not really down a mine shaft, but they have these at carnivals, but they're different. And the difference, in my opinion, well, not just mine. Okay. So with this ride, you have to meet the height requirement, which is only like 4 foot something. I think it's 11, 4 foot 11, maybe. Anyhow, oh, here goes my internet. Here goes the internet. Wonderful. I'm not sure if anybody can hear me yet. Hold on, I'm trying to listen back to the replay. Oh, I swear to God. Okay, so apparently I'm choppy. Hopefully I don't completely shit out. Where's Amanda? Amanda Lynn! Stephanie Brown, where are you? Okay. Okay. There we go. There we go. We're cooking with Crisco now. Okay. Frank, don't you even start with me. Yeah. Okay. I should be back. There we go. All right. Anyhow. Okay, so the different Frank, are you being for real? No. The difference in this ride compared to other rides that are like a free fall type of a ride is that this one does not have it has seat belts, right? But it does not have the shoulder restraints. Usually in rides like this, you have the restraint or whatever that goes over your head, over your shoulders that keep you in place. This one does not because it wants you to feel the full effect of the free fall. Okay, let me pull up my next little clippy clip here. How's everybody doing in the chat? We doing good? We doing good in there? All right, hold up. Okay, so I'm just gonna show, okay, I think I might show this one first. Not having a mouse really sucks. I don't know where I put that thing. All right, hold on. Okay, let's see.
So, I see we have some new recruits for the mine. I'd like to wish you all the best of luck, but sometimes things don't turn out the way we might hope. Like for my dearly departed brother Stewie, who accidentally fell in the shaft. Or did he?
Oh my goodness. Dude, can you give yourself space?
Well, I see my brother's at it again. I'll bet he said my death was an accident, didn't he? As in he accidentally pushed me down the mine shaft. The things some people will do for gold. Lots and lots of gold. Lucky for you, it looks like he wasn't too successful. This time.
Yeah, dude. I gave myself some space on the seatbelt. Holy cow. Absolutely different experience. I actually was terrified. Yeah, I tried to grab you. I was like, no, I don't like it. Oh my god. Wow.
I really wish they turned on the light so you can look down right there. Real quick.
I'm such a dumbass. I don't really like this one anyway. Please excuse my idioticness. Like I said, low budget production over here. I didn't practice. I left that picture on the screen the whole time. Okay. What is that other one called? I think this is it. I think this one might be better.
I've ridden over 400 roller coasters, which means I have been to a ton of amusement parks. And when I think about all those amusement parks I've been to, I believe that the most unique one I have ever been to is Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. This place is freaking cool. There's no other words to describe it. Like, man, it is just awesome.
So, like, I've been going through, obviously, a ton of videos about this place. The thing is, with this particular ride, it's so dark in there, I couldn't find, like, any decent, like, footage. But, okay, let's just get to the main part of the story, which is a little girl, a 6-year-old child, who was with her family, and they went to ride this ride, and, yeah, she died. And we'll get to that. I wanted to find that other point of view one. Where is it? I think this is it. Okay, so this is not the kid who died that I'm about to play. But it is a 6-year-old little boy.
Hey, Nixon. Hey, Mom. You guys getting scared? All right. All right, good luck, guys. Oh, cool. They're hiring.
I am not real money. There certainly must be a limit to how many bad things that can happen in 1 month. Well, as mine has had its fair share of accidents, we would like to assure you Every precaution has been taken.
Think it was an accident, Jojo.
Fall down the shaft.
Well, I see my brother's at it again. Down the mine shaft. The things some people will do for gold. Lots and lots of gold. Lucky for you, it looks like he wasn't too successful. This time.
Wow.
Hold on, I can't hear anything yet.
How was it, guys?
Okay, there we go. Okay, so what did it say? 110 feet drop? I don't care for roller coasters anymore, but I love roller coasters. Still do. Still do. But this one, I think I don't know if I could do this theme park. It's pretty extreme. I don't know if I could do it. The swings that go over the valley or the cliffs. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So now let's talk about this little girl. And this was only I think a month or two ago. This is not old news. This is actually new news that I guess nobody else came upon. So here's just one of the news feeds from, detailing what happened. Or I think this is before they found like the cause of what happened, but we'll get into that.
Questions tonight about how a theme park ride simply meant to give a thrill ended up with the death of a small child from our own community. KRDO News Channel 13 Sydney Stell joins us live overlooking Colorado Springs with what we know right now. Sydney.
Heather, a family from here in our own city tonight is grieving the loss of their little girl. It began with a 4-hour family trip from here up to Glenwood Springs, and now an urgent investigation is underway. The unthinkable at a Colorado amusement park, a 6-year-old little girl dying on this popular thrill ride. It happened Sunday night at the Haunted Mine Drop at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. The ride opened back in 2017 and even won USA Today's Best New Attraction that year. It's unclear how the little girl died on the ride, but park employees and paramedics were unable to resuscitate her after the ride stopped. A company called Coaster Studios toured the mine drop back in 2019 and even interviewed a park employee about how it all works.
We blasted 120 feet down into a straight mine shaft here above our fairy caves, and then you drop 110 feet straight down into the ground and pitch black.
The maintenance technician even explained the ride's safety features, right down to the seatbelts used to keep passengers safe.
The restraint system is just a seatbelt and what we call a neural bar here, and regular car seatbelt. This is our secondary safety feature on here. And then this is what we call our neural bar, and this is our main restraint here. What it does to lock you in tight is that it has a little block of bar. When you put it in, it clicks back and it holds it. So it can't release you when you're going up from the top.
You have to be at least 3'8" to ride the Haunted Mine Drop by yourself, which is roughly the height of an average 6-year-old girl. Every guest in the park has to sign a waiver before getting on any ride, and parents have to sign on behalf of their kids. It's supposed to release the park of any liability if a guest dies or gets injured. It's unclear to what extent the waiver will protect the park in this case. Glenwood Caverns closed Monday and Tuesday to give investigators a chance to figure out what happened. We know the little girl lived in Colorado Springs, and her family was vacationing in Glenwood Springs, nearly 4 hours from home, for the holiday weekend. The coroner is waiting to release her name until the family has a chance to notify everyone impacted by her loss. As for Glenwood Caverns, the future of the ride and the park as a whole is uncertain. Now, the autopsy report will shed a lot of light onto how that little girl died. Although when I spoke to the Garfield County coroner today, he told me it will likely be several weeks before we get access to that report. Live here in Colorado Springs, I'm Sydney Stell, KRDO News Channel 13.
Lots of questions still, Sydney. Thank you.
Okay. So, all right. I wanted to read a couple comments. Miss Nomer said, I worked for a large industrial company handling national accounts. If I told you what the ride guys look like that did the maintenance at the Florida State Fair, you would never let your kids ride. That's one thing that I may do also, is because you mentioned fair rides, like carnival rides, right? Those are the most sketchy rides ever, are the carnival rides. Any ride that you can pack up and put into the back of a 18-wheeler is sketchy to me. But we have a state fair that comes here every year, and we go, and my kids ride those rides while I sit there and like want to just snatch them up out of that ride. But I used to ride them too. Who remembers the Zipper, the Gravitron? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't like the carnival rides either. I loved them when I was riding them, but watching my kids get on them is nerve-wracking. Okay, so I spoke about the seat belts, right? How you don't have the upper restraint. So when I first heard this story and they hadn't come up with the cause of death or what went wrong, I naturally assumed that it was probably due to not having the shoulder restraints on the ride. But I was wrong. I was wrong. So let me pull up that clip. By the way, carnies also freak me out. Anybody know a good carny? Oh, wrong screen share. I appreciate everyone that has come in here. I know this isn't everyone's forte. No drama. Okay. Believe that one. Yeah.
We begin at 10 with new information on a tragic accident at an adventure park in Glenwood Springs.
State investigators are trying to learn what went wrong when a 6-year-old girl died on a ride at Glenwood Caverns. It happened Sunday on the Haunted Mine Drop. Sends riders more than 100 feet into Iron Mountain, and it's billed as the first ride of its kind to go underground. It happened during a weekend that was supposed to be a holiday for healing in Glenwood. The town has taken a hit because of summer COVID surge and the mudslides that closed I-70. It held a weekend festival at the amusement park to get more visitors. Karen Morfitt talked with the state public safety manager tonight, and Karen, he oversees these types of investigations, says it could take a while to complete.
Okay, this isn't
Karen,
the cause of death
a
yet.
number of injuries reported to their department every year. They say deaths are extremely rare. In this case, they say the investigation alone could take weeks, and then the findings will be months later when we get those findings as well. We know that this ride, there are lots of questions about the safety of it. And while there is a height requirement just at 46 inches, many people are asking questions about the restraints used on that ride. The investigation into how a 6-year-old died riding the Haunted Mine Drop at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park is underway.
It could take days, weeks,
to get through the investigation piece of it, the gathering of information that we need.
Greg Johnson is the public safety manager for the State Division of Oil and Public Safety. They regulate every ride at amusement parks across Colorado. The Haunted Mine Drop passed inspections every year since opening, including the most recent in June.
The annual inspection, it just goes into great detail. The construction of the ride, are there any indications of failures of mechanical devices?
While most drop rides use over-the-shoulder restraints, this uses only a lap belt. The ride designer, Stan Checketts, spoke about that decision in a YouTube interview shortly after the ride opened.
What I did is I made it safe enough that I could do Class 3 and have no shoulder. I don't like banging. I don't like that.
When it comes to the safety of the design, Johnson says they simply make sure that each one meets a set of national standards. Checketts, in that same interview, is asked about his use of minimal restraints. He says it's for the experience.
It isn't the speed, it's the exposure.
Now, according to the park's website, they plan to reopen on Saturday, but investigators say that ride will stay shut down until the investigation is over. County officials are not releasing the name of the child involved in this incident, and they say, but they did tell us she was visiting with her family from Colorado Springs. For now, we're live in Denver. Karen Morfitt covering Colorado First.
Okay. Oh my God, I need my mouse. All right, let's see here. Let's try this one. Oops, just a second. Okay, pause. I got to make sure it's the right one. Well, it's not the one I'm looking for, but it'll work until I find it real quick. More clips.
The family of the 6-year-old is speaking out this morning. Trevor Alt joins us with the latest on this story. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Cecilia. This is truly a horrifying story. This family losing their 6-year-old daughter on vacation, riding one of the most popular amusement park rides in the country. And we're hearing now from that friend of the family exclusively, who tells us they want to make sure that this nightmare does not happen to anyone else.
This morning, as authorities investigate the tragic amusement park death of a Colorado 6-year-old, a friend of her family tells us they're devastated beyond words.
It's the parents' worst nightmare, and something we wish on your worst enemy.
Bimini McComb, speaking on behalf of the Estefanos family, lost their daughter Gail in a fatal accident Sunday at Glenwood Cavern Adventure Park. One Gail was her on the Haunted Mine Drop, which put her right in near free fall for 110 feet.
I believe the ride was inspiration when the fell from it. A 6-year-old female, and she fell approximately 110 feet.
Well, parking police began administering first aid until paramedics arrived. People did not survive. Investigators are still working to determine what led to Estefanos' death. Telling us in a statement, we are
and
ask these family of the deceased thoughts and prayers.
The world battered. One moment they're in denial, the next minute they are.
Hold on. Let's give my shitty internet a chance to recover. I swear. I'm going to drop the link in here. Oh, wait. Is it... I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up and, like, hold on. Let's see if I can finish.
Trying to plead with God to bring her back. They are bargaining with him. They are angry.
While it's not been determined if the park was negligent in one Gale's death, Colorado's laws can limit the right to sue a ride operator even if they were at fault, especially if the family signed a waiver beforehand. And the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment says the ride was inspected in June and has passed inspections since opening in 2017. But McConan says the family is determined to enact change in one Gale's name.
They wouldn't want anyone to go through what they are going through right now. So they're going to do everything they can to make sure this never happens again. Even through her death, she is going to make a difference.
And family friends have set up a GoFundMe to help cover funeral costs and other expenses for this family. They've already raised more than $50,000. This amusement park is still closed, though they plan to reopen tomorrow. Guys,
just such a sad.
So Mary says, I would not put a 6-year-old in that. I would be afraid she would fall out. Well, I don't know if you were here earlier, but that's exactly what happened. But the reason she fell out is, the kicker for me. Like I said, I thought it would be the shoulder restraints that they don't use. They want you to get the full effect of the free fall. I just don't think I could put my 6-year-old on that either, though. But no, they meet the height requirement. I'm going to read a couple things in here before I keep going. Jesse Cat. I saw you say something, Jesse Cat, about how someone related to you owns like a carnival, I guess. The Scrambler is one of my favorites, but it squishes. Oh, here, like, we have Six Flags in Texas. And there's a ride there called the Texas Giant, and it's a wooden roller coaster. And it's, it's one of the best roller coasters, biggest roller coaster. I hate that ride as an adult anyways. It beats you up. You get off that ride and you feel like you got beat up. I don't like wooden roller coasters to begin with. That sounds real sketch. I knew there was a reason why I hate fair rides. Yeah. Never trust a carny. I used to tell my kids when they were little, not to get in, white vans and stay away from carnies. Yeah, well, it worked, You got 4 teeth, you might be a carny. I have to look. Well, Jackson Black. I saw you say earlier that, what was it? Carny killers? I'm going to have to look into that. All right. So here, I'm going to play now the cause of death of what happened to this little girl.
Moments before this 6-year-old girl died
started
on
from
a
the
ride.
beginning.
Alarms ignored. Moments before this 6-year-old girl died on a ride at Glenwood Canyon. The state's investigation claims if the ride operators had paid attention to that alarm, they would have realized Rangel Estefanos wasn't wearing her seatbelt. Denver 7's Gary Bro digs deeper into those new findings.
And we found out both of the operators in question were trained within 1 month of Rangel Estefanos' death. The state investigation determined the 6-year-old died as a result of multiple operator errors. Estefanos was at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park on September 5th. Reports show when the Colorado Springs girl sat in her seat for the Haunted Mine drop, the seatbelts were already buckled because that seat was unoccupied the ride before. Investigators determined operators didn't realize she was sitting on her 2 seatbelts.
Did y'all hear that? She wasn't even seat belted in. They didn't check to make sure she was seat belted in. Yeah, can you imagine being that family and you get to the bottom of the ride? Oh, that's just horrible.
Instead of being strapped in. Another operator chose to reset the ride's seatbelt monitor, which was meant to alert employees Estefanos wasn't properly in, allowing the ride to begin. As a result of the negligence, Estefanos fell 110 feet to her death. The lawyer representing Estefanos' family says they plan on filing a lawsuit against the park within the next week.
These parents are so focused on protecting others from going through this hell that what they want to do is they want to use this lawsuit to get the full truth about this ride, about the operation of the park, get the full truth on the table. So then everybody out there can make their own decisions.
In a statement, Glenwood Caverns tells Denver 7 in part, safety is and always has been our top priority. Since opening our first ride just over 15 years ago, Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park has delivered more than 10 million safe and enjoyable rides. Glenwood Caverns also says the Haunted Mine Drop remains closed. Garfield County's district attorney tells us they are awaiting the final
110
investigation from
feet.
the sheriff's office to determine if charges will be filed. Reporting for Denver 7, I'm Gary Brode.
And the Haunted Mine Drop will not reopen anytime soon. The state says it must get a new permit and inspection certificate, which will only happen once the operator error is addressed. Now, our reporting finds that error could and should have been addressed 2 years ago. Someone who rode that ride in August of 2019 also contacted investigators, and they too had mistakenly sat on the ride's
I thought I was
seatbelt.
muted,
The rider
Kimmy.
could tell something was wrong, so they insisted operators double check the seatbelt, which was ultimately fixed. That rider was so upset, they emailed Glenwood Caverns. One line in particular foreshadowed the recent tragedy, quote, "I urge you to look into this, otherwise you could have customers who will get seriously injured or even worse, dead." The park's general manager told investigators that she was not aware of the incident or the email. She blamed a faulty email system, calling it a regrettable clerical error.
Okay, Mercedes girl has lost two friends that have lost family, or you've had two friends that lost family members to suicide within the last 2 days. I am so sorry. I've been there. Not me, like I've never done that or whatever, but I've been there as far as, having to go through the motions of losing somebody to suicide. I'm sorry that your friends are having to go through that. And don't worry, nobody on YouTube's going to get to any of us that way. It's stupid at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Anyhow, yeah, so the little girl was not even buckled in. I'm not going to blame the parents. I don't think it's their fault. I mean, the ride people should have definitely checked to make sure everybody's seatbelts were buckled. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's terrible. 110 feet. I don't think I have any more interesting clips to play besides things at the theme park. Oh, and I saw Miss Nomer say this about the Disney with the alligator incident. I remember when that happened. I was thinking about doing that one too. I personally love me some Disney World, and I love their rides too, but yeah, you better watch out for them gators. I think, you know what? I think there's also been a family murder or something that happened in Disney. I can't remember. It's been a while. Someone told me about it, I think the other day. I know. It's so sad. And there is a GoFundMe for the family, but I'm not going to drop it because, people act fucking weird about GoFundMes, but I'm sure it's out there. If anybody feels inclined to donate to it. One of the things I will, it'll be the end of me do those. Which ones? Which ones, Dari D? Do which ones? Okay, so for my little grand finale of this little, I guess if you want to call it a series of sorts that I'm going to do about amusement park fuck ups, fuck ups. That's what they are. They're fuck ups. The people who were supposed to maintain these rides fucked up. So I've got a couple more I'm going to do. And the one I'm going to say for the end is going to be the SeaWorld or you could call it OSHA versus SeaWorld. This, Dawn Brancho, the lady who was mauled to death by a captive killer whale. And yeah, I've got a lot to talk about with that one. I got a lot to say, and I've got a lot of clips. I got a lot of opinions. So prepare yourself for some orca whale edumacation. And I would tell y'all the other ones, but I don't want to spoil them. Jackson, are you starting trouble in the chat? What did Dari say? The Disney one about the alligator. Okay, let's just do this. Fuck it. The other one I was going to do is, let me get it pulled up though. I don't know if many of you know what Schlitterbahn is. Anybody know what Schlitterbahn is? We have one in Texas. Okay, hold on, pull that up. Okay, hold on. Now I'm just clicking links here, so I don't know if it's gonna go in order. Oh, that will be, yes, CK Warhola. Just you wait. Bring your notebooks. Fuck SeaWorld. Schlitterbahn. Schlitterbahn. They're actually one of the most amazing water parks out there. Like I said, Texas has one, and it's so fun. I called you a Schlitterbahn. Several times a year, you hear about people being attacked by alligators, but we also have crocodiles. Ooh. I didn't know you were in Florida, Miss Nomer. Are you going to go hike the Appalachian Trail or go scream in front of the laundry house? Heels on the ground! Heels on the ground! Hey, more than enough. What does Schlitterbahn mean in English? Anyhow, all right. So Schlitterbahn is a water park. They have one, like I said, here, and I think this is in Oklahoma where this one happened. Brace yourself, because it is. Oh, okay. I forgot to share my screen.
Developments in that amusement park investigation. Two women who were riding the world's tallest slide when a young boy was killed. Well, those women, we're now hearing from them. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with the latest. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Robin. There were issues with this ride since it first opened 2 years ago. In fact, the opening was delayed twice for safety reasons. And in the weeks leading up to Caleb's death, there were reports of safety harnesses not working and rafts going airborne. This morning, we are learning more details about the women who were in the raft with Caleb as they and the little boy's family plead for answers.
More questions this morning about just what caused the death of 10-year-old Caleb Schwab as he rode down the Verrückt, the world's tallest water slide at this Kansas City water park. For the first time, the two women who were in the raft with Caleb are speaking out this morning. Both suffered facial injuries. The duo released a statement through their lawyers saying, "Being mothers ourselves, we can only hope that Caleb's family can find some comfort in knowing we are doing everything we know how to do to stop something so tragic from occurring again to any other family." The Verrückt, which translates to insane in German, features multi-person rafts which make the 168-foot drop at speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. Each raft is supposed to carry between 400 and 550 pounds. Police initially released a report stating one rider.
Okay, so did y'all hear that? Okay, so I don't know, would you call it a raft? I don't know. This thing that you sit in, I guess it's a raft. I don't know. It has a weight limit. Like, a weight limit, a weight. I just don't have words today. It has to be heavy enough. It has to meet a certain weight requirement to even ride it. So that means I think there's 4 seats, one behind the other, and it has to be heavy, and that's where they fucked up.
Rider weighed 140 pounds, another
140 pounds.
170, and an unclear weight for Caleb, who would have had to weigh 90 pounds to make the
Oh,
400
never mind.
pounds raft limit.
400
The
pounds.
police also said
So the people sitting in the raft have to weigh up to 400 pounds total.
weights taken at the hospital after the accident show one person weighed 275 pounds, another 197 pounds, and a third 73 pounds, putting the combined weight at 545 pounds.
Caleb's father, Steve Schwab, a state representative, released this statement saying, "We find hope with the current investigation into the incident to provide answers and assurances that such a tragedy would not strike again." And of course, answers are a small condolence.
yes,
You know, I mean, just every time I hear or do this story, it's just heartbreaking.
Especially as a mother.
Having a little boy myself, yeah.
It was dubbed the world's tallest water slide, a vertigo-inducing ride with a nearly vertical 17-story freefall. Taller than the Statue of Liberty, riders reaching speeds of up to 50 miles an hour. And the name the amusement park company Schlitterbahn chose for it was Verrückt, which means insane in German. But in 2016, that thrill ride came to a grisly, and prosecutors say, murderous stop. 10-year-old Caleb Schwab had been decapitated while going down the water slide. In an indictment unsealed Tuesday, 2 of Verrückt's designers and the ride's construction company have been charged on 18 counts, including reckless second-degree murder. Jeffrey Wayne Henry, John Schooley, and Henry & Sons Construction Company were also charged in connection with injuring 13 others who rode Verrückt.
I did not know that until just now. Huh.
Including 4 minors. A Kansas grand jury also indicted a former Schlitterbahn director, Tyler Austin Miles, and the water park itself on 20 counts, including involuntary manslaughter.
It's unusual for a company to get charged criminally. It's even more unusual for the individuals who run the company or were responsible for the actions to be charged criminally.
The indictment states that Henry's design of the ride, quote, guaranteed that the rafts would occasionally go airborne in a manner that could severely injure or kill the occupants. And that's what happened in the summer of 2016 when Caleb Schwab was killed after his raft went airborne, hitting those metal hoops suspended above the ride to keep the netting in. 2 others in the raft suffered facial fractures.
Okay, so did you hear that? So the raft went airborne, and the little boy hit one of the metal, rods, whatever you want to call it, loops that they have for the ride. And he was decapitated.
I call that insane. I was there when the ride first opened in 2014.
It's literally not for the faint of heart.
At the time, it was deemed a feat of engineering. I was the first TV journalist to take the plunge.
Should we be worried that there are lifeguards up here?
There were lifeguards, safety checks.
Wow, you're doing that pretty tight.
And on this day, at least, a park employee at the top of the ride reading a 2-page liability agreement.
There is a risk inherent to the activity, including falls.
Yet the indictment alleges Henry knew the water slide was, quote, a seriously dangerous piece of equipment.
Like you have to sign these waivers before you do these rides. I'm sure it's the same with that haunted mine drop. So I don't know, such sticky situation, I guess, when you sign your life away. I don't know.
equipment, yet opened it anyway.
Should I be concerned that they're still using jackhammers and saws on this ride right now?
I have no idea what they're doing over there.
But you're saying it is safe.
Oh yeah, this ride is probably the safest speed slide that's ever been built. It's been tested, it's been evaluated.
Prosecutors say neither of those things were true. The indictment says that employees warned executives about brake failures on the ride at least 29 times, and yet they were never fixed, and riders were getting hurt. Nathan Campbell was a lifeguard at the park. The indictment says that every morning, employees like him would be asked to volunteer to test the ride.
The brakes just didn't work, so we never stopped and just kept going and hit the very end of the ride and flipped off.
He says he was lightly hurt in his back, but was able to walk away.
I never wanted to be close to it, on it, work for it. I didn't want to be even close to it because that happened.
Brittany Hawkins was celebrating her birthday at the park when she, too, had a close call on the Verrucht.
You're speeding down this hill and you can't really get your balance. The raft went airborne and I was actually flown up and my seatbelt came off.
Brittany says she was terrified.
We were going up that little hill, that second hill, and the gravity, again, lifted the raft and went flying down, and that's when I came crashing down on my back and couldn't move. I had 3 slip discs in my back that still give me trouble today.
According to the indictment, Henry decided to build the world's tallest
I didn't know that
water
either.
slide in a spur-of-the-moment bid to impress Travel Channel producers for their Extreme Water Park series.
Oh.
Much of the testing was done a year prior to the opening.
Okay, so if you didn't catch that, I don't remember the name of the show, but there was a show in where they would, people. Oh,
Many of the challenges
there we go.
captured.
Okay,
by
so
the
this
show.
is where this is from the show, and this is they have built the ride, they haven't perfected it, they're testing it out, and look at the rafts.
No.
Tipped over and killed every sandbag in there.
Prototype of the slide, even constructed in Texas, rafts seen flying off the slide.
How much over budget and how late?
Well, we were way over budget.
According to a Schlitterbahn statement, the indictment uses quoted statements from a reality TV show that was scripted for dramatic effect that in no way reflects the design and construction of the ride. Quote,
Bullshit. I call bullshit on that.
quotes were purported to be from definitive design meetings when they were, in fact, acting. The indictment even going as far as claiming Miles allegedly lied to investigators, withholding daily safety reports that contained incriminating information about injuries. Miles's lawyer, Tricia Bass, says her client never avoided or delayed repairs or covered up any incidents, and had even scheduled his wife to ride Verrucht on the day of the accident involving Caleb Schwab.
You have to look at each of these defendants individually. You can't just lump them all together and say, are they all going to get convicted or are they all going to get acquitted? They're all going to have a day in court.
In comparison to the rest of the country, Kansas's laws regarding to the regulation of rides like Verrucht are less stringent.
At the time, the state had no mandated laws that required an inspection at every setup or any ride safety analysis that should have been performed by an outside independent agency.
But those regulations were beefed up after Caleb's death. Last year, I spoke to his parents about that tragic day.
But I still can remember him sitting on the floor in there saying, come on, we're going to go to the park. And he just lit up. He was so excited.
That day, the Schwabs piled their 4 boys, including 10-year-old Caleb, into the car. And it was a special August day because admission was free for the families of state legislators like Scott.
6 went to the park and 5 came back.
6 went to the park and 5 came back.
Upon arriving, the Schwabs say Caleb and his big brother Nathan went right to the 170-foot scaffold of the Verrucht ride.
Before they took off, I said, brothers stick together. And he says, I know, Dad.
It was the last time his parents would ever see Caleb alive. Big brother Nathan was dutifully waiting for him at the bottom when the unimaginable happened.
He was screaming. He flew from Verrucht. He flew from Verrucht.
Nathan ran to find his mother, but the horror made it nearly impossible for the 12-year-old to explain what he'd seen.
There was a gentleman who wouldn't allow me to come close enough to see what was going on. And he just kept saying, no, trust me, you don't want to go any further.
onlookers confirming the family's worst fears.
I said, I just need to hear you say it. Is my son dead? And he just shook his head. And I said, I need to hear it from you. Is he dead? He says, yes, your son is dead.
In a statement Monday, Schlitterbahn called Caleb's death an unforeseeable accident, adding its employees have the highest dedication to safety and vowed to fight these allegations.
Accident. But I think you and your attorneys believe that negligence caused.
Oh, yeah. It's an accident. But there's an accounting because someone was negligent.
For Nightline, I'm Matt Gutman.
That's a good question, Dari. I don't know. They didn't tell us that, did they? Can you imagine? Am I on mute? Shit. Hello. Fuck. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know if they signed the waiver. They left that little part out. I have a question for you, Jessie Cat. You've never heard of that one, Dari D? Oh, yeah. There's a lot of them. And I read something today that there's 1 to 2 accidents a year at an amusement park. But I mean, I guess that's probably. Anyways, okay. So Jessie Cat, I have a question for you as a Canadian. Have you heard of? Is it Marineland? That's in Canada. I have to look it up. I think it's Marineland. No, that's. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. I think it's Marineland. Yeah, Marineland. You know of that, Jessie Cat? It is Marineland Review, Niagara Falls, Canada. That's gonna drive me nuts. Yeah, at a marine park. Let's see. Yeah, Marineland in Ontario, Canada. Let me get the chat back up. Never heard of that one. I think it got I don't know if it's closed down or not. There's a whole story behind that too. I won't get into it right now because I got to make this short and sweet. So I'm about to shut it down. Yeah, it's this dude, the dude that owned it though, Marineland, he died recently. He was a piece of shit also. He's a whole piece of shit. And there's a story there about a guy and a walrus. I'll get into that another day. Water park in Canada can't be. It's not a water park. It's a marine park, like a wannabe SeaWorld zoo type of a park. Niagara Falls in Canada. Yes, yes, yes. I was going to say something to you too, Miss Nomer, and now I forgot what it was. But you used to work at Disney? Oh, yeah, that's what you're saying. It's kind of like there's some pervies there. And something else. I don't remember what you said the other one was. You went there when you were a kid? Really? To Marineland? In Canada? It would take me a while. Actually, the story that I have on Marineland is nothing to do with the death. It's just it's horrible. That place is horrible. Anyways, okay, I really appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate you watching these clips and, learning of these stories. I find them to be really interesting. I fell down quite the rabbit hole, and I've had people send me things, so this is more common than you know. Not to scare anyone or anything, from riding rides. I love amusement parks. No problemo. Ice skating and Well, you've been everywhere, Jackson Black. Yes, yeah. Thank you, guys. I'll get better at, being a little more prepared and, maybe have my thoughts together, which I don't today for whatever reason. But keep doing these lives, Charlie. They're great. Thank you, Miss Nomer. I will. And like I said, y'all just keep your eyes peeled. I'll do another one soon. And then, like I said, I'm going to do that SeaWorld one, which will be good because I'm actually I've got a lot of knowledge about that. I'm kind of having to wing the details, but it's better than some people. Laura. Okay. I will see you all later. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your day and behave yourselves. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Thanks for coming. Bye.